All right, Coach, picked up a win this weekend against the Greyhounds. 2 wins in a row now. Talk about how your team has been competing and what you're seeing come together with them out on the gridiron.
Yeah, it was a rough early season, to that part. We played some really good football teams, and that's what we want to do. Lost a couple early and, got back on track. Our kids, we talked about being focused a week ago and playing the first play as hard as you play the last play of the game, just being focused and locked in throughout. And we did a great job that last 2 weeks. This week going into, this past week going into Eastern, we knew what that game was going to be. It's going to be a physical football game. It's going to be a fast football game in the sense that offensively you're only going to get so many possessions in a game because they run the triple option and do different stuff. So, we knew that going in, and we had to be assignment sound, which means you got to practice really well all week and be focused on what your job is on defense, and then on offense having that urgency to execute, again, because you're going to get opportunities taken away from you a little bit just with possessions alone. But, I just think, these last 2 weeks have gotten our guys to stay focused, stay locked in, and keep improving. We talk about going 1-0 each week and winning football games, but it's not just on Saturday when you go 1-0. You got to go, did you get better during the week? That's something that ties into the wins as well. So, really proud of the way they played the last 2 weeks, and, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Y'all trailed that first half. What did you say to your team at halftime to get them not only on the board each quarter, but shut them down offensively? Yeah,
that's the thing. We didn't change anything. We really didn't on defense. We felt like we should have been off the field a few times in that first half that we weren't. Just understanding, again, the option football when you play defense and your rules, and don't try to do too much, do what you're supposed to do. And we really did a good job of that in the second half on defense, which gave our offense more opportunities with the football. We felt like in the first half we had some opportunities with the football that we were hoping for some touchdowns, and we kicked a field goal on one. We got stopped on a fourth down and inches on one as well. So we kind of gave some possessions back to them a little bit, but we really just said don't hit the panic button, go out and do what you're supposed to do. And as you go through games playing the triple option, I've been a defensive coordinator for a long time, defending that, and Coach Clark did an awesome job getting them prepared. You don't change anything. You just see what's working and you play it. And our kids had to settle down and see that firsthand. And I think Coach Clark did a good job of getting them not to hit the panic button and just go out and do what their assignment sound football's responsibility was.
Really focusing on that defense. Talk about your defense in the second quarter, shutting them out, and what they've been able to do the past 2 weeks, because they even kept them off the board really that last week too.
Really did. We've always hung our hat on being really good on defense, over the last 10 years here. We've had some really good defenses, and every year we face, besides about two, a triple option team, and that second half, and if we would have played a little bit more assignment sound in the first half on defense, that second half was as dominant against the triple option that I've seen. And going out and understanding the responsibilities of it, I'm just so proud of them, because it's hard. It's they hit us on a few pass plays, which is crazy because they don't throw it very much. So that's the one thing. Holding a team that averages close to 300 yards rushing, I think they had 189 or something like that on the ground. Angelos, we outrushed them, a triple option team. And so, just defensively what they did and giving us the ball back and the opportunities on offense to go down and make some plays there too, which we got a chance to do. You got to hang your hat on that a little bit on defense, and we've done that. But to me, it's about recruiting. It's about, development of players and that kind of stuff. And I think our coaches have done a great job at that.
And then my last question, an open week this week, what's the game plan going into, what is the game plan with the team getting these extra rest days and practice days before getting back on the road to Texas A&M?
You hit the nail on the head. Some of these guys need to rest. We need to be smart with them. We need to start preparing, though. We're going to start preparing for Kingsville out of it a little bit here this week. And the other part is, again, even though we have a bye week, we talk about going 1-0, right? You got to be better after this week when the week's over. Even though you're not playing on Saturday, you got to be a better football team. And how can we do that? We can get better on special teams. We can get better on with our young development of players and getting them more reps this week and getting that depth back and making sure we're doing those things. And the development of our younger players, that's something too. We haven't had a bye week in a long time in the regular season. So, having that there is something that's good for us. So going 1-0 this week and getting healthy as much as we can, and hopefully get a chance to make a run here down the stretch.
All right, Coach. After dropping those first 2 games this season, you knew that going into basically playing these 2 New Mexico teams that obviously had to turn things around.
Yeah.
After the last 2 weeks, how do you feel like your team responded mentally?
I thought they did a great job. They really did. You got to go into those games and play your game. I mean, we had some balls bounced away from us a little bit on the first couple of weeks, and we had a chance to win both those games that we lost. But that's football, So you got to bring your A game each and every week, and I thought our guys have done that. You didn't see a letdown in practice. Actually, probably increased it a little bit. That sense of urgency. So I think mentally the guys are focused and locked in, and I'm excited about where this team can get to still. I mean, there's a lot of football to be played, obviously, in the conference. If you take a look what's going on in the conference and the scores and the wins and losses and who's doing what, anybody can beat anybody, in this conference. So a lot of football to be played, but I think our guys see that, and they've responded pretty well, and it's funny, we talk about it as a staff too, and I've talked about it with my family. We hadn't lost 2 games in a row in a long time. We hadn't lost, we lost 1 conference game, and at times you think the world's going to end, on that part of it, when that's football. I mean, it's hard to win every one of them. So, our guys weren't used to that a little bit, and that's something I'm proud of them for responding and getting back on track and staying focused throughout.
And then in the game against Eastern New Mexico, you said it yourself. I was actually going to get you to elaborate on it a little bit more. Defense completely shut down the triple option in the second half, to the point where when y'all were running your offense, you actually did outrush them. Just talk about your rushing attack a little bit.
Well, the good thing about it is we have a lot of people to hand the ball to. That's one thing, but if you go back and look at that film, and we just got done watching as an offensive staff, we really blocked the ball, blocked the fronts and stuff up well to run the football. So our O-line did an outstanding job. Tight ends, everybody included, did an outstanding job to get the key up runs, big runs, and that kind of thing. But we blocked them well. Coach Atwell, our offensive line coach, man, he takes pride in running the football, and you can see it in practice. So, it starts with having really good running backs. You got to have those guys, but you can't do anything without an O-line. And I think our O-line is one of the best in the country in Division II. I mean, these guys that just get after it, and they take pride in it, and they're very well coached and sound in what we're trying to get accomplished.
Then on the defensive side of the ball, it seemed like those first 2 scores that you gave up, headed into halftime, y'all were trailing,
Yeah.
But was that more of a case of nerves, or like they were getting what they were doing? Because in the second half, they looked like a completely different defense.
Yeah, it is. It's a great point that you bring up. Like this team, there's only 1 kid on that whole defensive team that our squad that faced a triple option before in college, and it was in 2019 when they were still running it at Eastern. So that coach had went away for a couple years. Nobody has faced that. So it takes some time to get caught up to the speed of it. You can simulate it in practice with a scout team and stuff, but it's not the same. And we reminded them of that. And of course, they went 75 yards in that first series and went down. So it took us that series to get it figured out. And then they threw it in for a touchdown. It was a pass play, which kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit and go, what's going on? But it just takes time, on that part of it. I think the other score they had was, just another thing. They just drove it a little bit and had some success. And when they're going to run it 50 times a game, they're going to have some success on the ground, and that offense is just geared towards you making a mistake, and as soon as you do, they find it and get the ball to that person in the triple. But for the most part, our guys did a great job, and again, we didn't switch up anything defensively in the second half, and we just went out and played our game and was more sound in the responsibilities of it, and got after them. And
Coach, last thing from me, just talk about your special teams unit a little bit. Of course, had another made field goal, and you had that blocked field goal, which was big. Just talk about your special teams guys.
Well, I'm proud of them. They've done a great job, and Cade Fuller too, punting the football. We've asked a lot of him. He's kind of given up some numbers in the sense of his average per punt because he has a huge leg, and we're trying to get him to pin the ball and do different things. So, in my opinion, he's the best punter in the conference, and he's done a great job with things. And Brad's done a good job of kicking the football and doing stuff. We had an extra point blocked. It may have been a little bit of a low kick, but the operation time was a little bit slower, so we got to get going on that a little bit. But really proud of it. You know, we felt like we took a step back at Central Washington, obviously, when we gave up some points on special teams, but. You know, there's been a huge focus and on that part of it, and our kids did a great job of it this week.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
See you guys.
Yeah.